What's up, peeps? Anyway, so it happened finally. Big Ramy won. Was it close? Yes, it really was close with Brandon. I'm gonna come back to it. Um, the big picture, though, it was quite refreshing. People forgot about this reality, but hey, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank God. There was no bubble gut to be seen, even in transitions when these guys relaxed. When Big Ramy was being interviewed by Bob Chick, there was no bubble gut to be seen, which is absolutely saluted if you ask me. Bring it all day, man. Nobody let it go. Nobody. I was watching for it. And that's that. Top 10 was good. Hunter Labrada impressed me in a good way, definitely. He edged Nick. I was not expecting that. Nick is coming from a big win, second biggest show of them all, the Arnold Classic. But yeah, and I think the room of improvement in Hunter's case is rather bigger compared to Nick's. Nick's is already full blown, right? What can he add? What department? Refinement? Polishing the package? You tell me. I think Hunter definitely has room to progress. So yeah, and he's taking a little bit of a lead versus Nick in that regard. Hadi Shupan, listen, I respect the fact that he is loved by a lot of people. I love the guy as well. I met him in Kuwait. Very cool chap, but it is where it is. Numbers do not lie. Dude, I think he's about 220, 25 max. He's not the tallest. He's not the largest. He's the most diced, the most conditioned by a mile. I mean, he smokes them out of the water. All of them. Top 10. You name the guy, is the most conditioned one of them. And he is good enough to reach the top three, which he does times and again, twice in a row. But then again, you put him next to the biggest guy of them all. He was next to two ex-Mr. Olympias, the title holder and the guy before him. And the Brandon improved. I want to come back to Brandon later. Plus, I spoke to a lot of pros contacted me yesterday, and they mentioned the shoulders. Yeah, the shoulders, they look a little bit not saluted. Uh, yeah, to say it politely, right? The shoulders of Chupin are definitely eye-catching, to say it politely. I'm not going to expand on it. If you know a thing or two about bodybuilding, you will comprehend. So that's that. That's taxing for him, right? That's taxing. But all in for all, I don't think it's the main reason of him placing third. Third is what he deserves because it's a numbers game. This is the open bodybuilding. You cannot complain, ask for the smaller guy to win and to have a better chance. I'm sorry, it is what it is. On stage versus the big guys attract the eyes more. If you want smaller guys, by all means, you have the 212, right? You have classic physique, and so on and so forth. So he deserves, that's the proper spot for him. But again, hats off for the conditioning and the quality muscle, the separation. When we talk about striations, separations, feathers, dude, he has them for days, right? So that's that. Now, Brandon improved compared to last year, tremendously so. And every single gram, and we're talking about pounds, probably about 10 pounds, every one of them went upstairs. And frankly, he doesn't lack that. I mean, he's bubbly. His arms are considerably bigger than that of Big Ramy, who is a big guy already. But the belly's up there. Take it from the shoulders up to basically the finger points. Definitely, everything is just bigger, more oversized, has more bellies. Separation is a little bit more outstanding when it comes to Brandon's case. So that's that. But then again, I think what dings him, we need to talk about this because this is high level. We're talking about the two best guys in the world. Is the contrast between the upper body and the downstairs area. His legs at that level, we have to say it. If he had like an average physique, like an average upper body, you will not see the contrast. But his upper body is so magnificent The shoulders are so wide, the back is so tremendous, all the while having a tiny waist. And then you have legs are, you have to say, they're not saluted. They're not saluted. And then you put him next to a guy, defending champion, who did not leave the door open. There you have it. That's enough. That's enough to sway the balance. So, was there a robbery tonight? I contend not. I contend there was no robbery. It is well deserved. Big Ramy, although he was probably like 2% less sharp compared to last year, but that's not enough. And I guarantee you, it does not have to do with that rule that you need to knock the champ to be the champ, because both of them are champions. I think they were on the same playing field, so to speak. But Big Ramy was just a little bit more of a complete package when it comes to the balance. So I think the word of tonight is the balance of them all. Big Ramy is not basically legs heavy, right? But Brandon is top heavy, and it freaking shows. It freaking shows from certain poses. You can argue also that Big Ramy has no weaknesses, whereas the legs of Brandon, again, when you put that contrast into the equation, that can be considered some sort of a weakness. Not a huge one, but at that level, it really is. But then again, he's still number 2. So that's very, very good. Let's go back to Hunter. As I said previously, Hunter is literally a bigger version of his father, as funny as it sounds, but he's literally Lila Brada on juice, on BCAA, oversized, right? I think he can do 1 or 2 poses of his father. His father was nicknamed the Mass with Class. Can you imagine that? Back in the day, back in the early 90s, late 80s, let's say 89, 1990, when he was still competing versus Lee Haney, he was nicknamed the Mass with Class. He was considered some sort of a massive guy, right? The commentator today, Lee Haney, who won 8 Mr. Olympias, believe you me, if he comes back today, he will not even box. I guarantee you, he cannot even box in the top department with some physique guys. The physique guys are so humongous nowadays. I mean, they're huge. I guarantee you, for certain, he will not beat Bumstead. Bumstead, I think, is the same height, 6'1", 230. I think Lee Haney was a little bit bigger, but he was never as diced as Bumstead. Never. You would never see diced glutes back then. The only guy who had it was Richard Gaspari. He bought them in 86, I think, and then they disappeared. They did not appear again until the Dorian Yates era. So they were not that diced. You don't see those striated hamstrings and glutes and this and that. So they were never as conditioned as now, right? In spite of the doctored pictures of the 90s and the grainy quality, it was some sort of a fake. Believe you me, the condition right now is on another level. And that's that. All overall, I'm quite satisfied. And again, I have to bring it to my first reaction, or my first basically observation. It is the bubble gut, or the lack of it. The lack of bubble gut. Is this real life? There was no bubble gut to be seen. Even when they're relaxed, nobody let it go, which is just amazing. Not Akeem Williams, not Nick, not Big Ramy. And truth knows to be told, every one of them had it at a certain point. Rolly Winkler. Talking about Rolly Winkler, I would not be surprised. This will be the last Miss Olympia we ever see him in. He's not getting any younger. I think he's pushing 43 or 44, if not even more. Bonac probably was 6th. Big disappointment for him as well. He's also an old chap. But that is that. We'll see how it goes. And both Ramy and also Brandon are veterans in the game. Both of them are veterans in the game. I think Brandon is the oldest. But that is that. All in for all, it was a good show. Quick note about Classic Physique. Bumstead, hard to beat, the dude. He's hard to beat. When he comes, he is winning already. When he's posing his own, you give the title to him right away. Genetically superior. Brings me back to the first video I've seen of him, which I published right away, and it went viral back in the day. He was not even known back then. I think he was posing, and his mom came behind him like that, unannounced, like he was like 19 or 20. He was very young. and that is hard to beat, right? I mean, that vacuum, the 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 upper. I mean, did you see his back? The dude has back that rivals those of open class bodybuilding when it comes to everything. Every metric is there: size, definition, the crazy V taper. Uh, the front lat spread is a small version of Dorian Yates, nothing less. Quite impressive. He has no weak point. How are you gonna beat that guy? I mean, Terrence came very good. He's very good, but then again, what can you do versus a guy like that? Breon improved as well. I guarantee you, Breon improved, but I had him third, and that's what he got, right? Although he improved. And that's that, guys. So God bless you. Be saluted. And well, tell me what you think. Are you satisfied? Frankly, I hope nobody will talk about some sort of a robbery or upset. I'm not upset. Frankly, in all fairness, I think it was fair. It was fair. Top six. I'm not mad by no placing whatsoever. Have a nice one.